Now, hello everybody and welcome to the entrance to Teenage Hospital. This behind me is the road that has been built. You can see there's a team of workers there. This is going to be a very different video today. It's more a stream of consciousness. I'm out here with a very special boy actually, Mr. Big Mac. He's one of the best dogs you could ever come across, and I'm going to tell you his story as we go through this video. He's a little bit down on his luck, but I wanted to bring him on the video with me today because his story is... He's a dog that I know actually for 3 years, just before I started actually feeding the street dogs and helping them. I knew Big Mac from way back then. But today's video is going to answer a lot of questions about Happy Doggo and the journey, really. The journey that I'm on, that Happy Doggo is on as a charity, globally, locally, and also the people who've been on the journey with me doing it, because I wouldn't be able to do this without so many people online. But really, this video is just to kind of explain how things change. Change is a really hard thing for people to deal with. I mean, if you think of most of us in our daily lives, we don't really change our houses, we don't really change our, our jobs, our routines, I guess. We keep very similar. I'm just looking at Big Mac here. Big Mac used to live at 7-Eleven with my old dog, Jumbo, who died at the end of last year. And they used to be good friends, and they used to live together, but then they did have a little falling out for some reason. I'm gonna have a sit here with Big Mac. Come on, Big Mac, people want to see you, mister. They want to see you. Let's see this big beautiful face of yours. Whoa! I have to twist him around. I'll tell you about Big Mac. Now, where are you, Big Mac? There you go. He's got a lovely big face. He really is one of the biggest, most gentle giants you could ever come across. But the sad news for Big Mac is, I was going to sort of dress it up and explain it in a different way, but Big Mac is dying. He's got very bad kidney failure, which is very sad for him. He's an older dog, but he's got kidney failure, and the reason I wanted to bring him with me was because when I started this journey, it was just me, and as I've said many times, I used to be an alcoholic. I used to suffer from depression. I mean, you could say I still am those things. They haven't gone away, alcoholism and battling depression, but I'm kind of on top of them at the moment, which is good. But it was just me, and I think that's what captured the imagination of a lot of people. It was like one guy saving dogs in Thailand. I'm a disaster here, Big Mac. I've dropped the phone, I've dropped your lead, everything. We'll walk down a bit. It's quite hot for a Big Mac. But that has evolved, and like I could never in my wildest dreams have imagined where we are today with Happy Doggo. It's now a charity that is in America, that is in the UK, that's here in Thailand, and we employ a lot of people, and we are growing. This behind me is the road that has been paved all the way down to Teenage Hospital. If you knew that how much was involved in the stuff behind the scenes, I kind of wanted to give you a stream of consciousness and tell you what's involved. Like, we're talking to the mayor's office, we're talking to all the neighbours from these different plots, we're talking to builders for quotes, we have to make sure the money is accounted for correctly, that has been donated, that it goes to the right parts of the charity. Like, it's a massively complex operation, and this is just the road. But that takes up an awful lot of time. What also takes up a lot of time is hiring staff. We have so many new staff. We go out into the communities now, and things change. People come and people go. I get a lot of questions about where are certain people, where is who's starting, who are the new people, who are the faces, and it's kind of hard for me because I'm running a charity and a business which is like running a business which is like incredibly hard, like to do that, in a different country with work permits, with doing things like staff one-on-ones, staff appraisals. It's not easy, right? And you're doing that in a different country with different employment laws, different like visa laws, different languages. Incredibly tough. And what is very tough for me is people asking online about questions. That's why I was telling you about where this journey has come from. Let me just sit down with Big Mac. He's calmed down a bit now. He didn't like that sunshine. when it was just me and I was just out with the dogs, I think people felt very, very involved, and they were like, oh, you know, it's just him, and I can understand that. Now it's a bigger organisation that I'm in charge of. Every decision that's made has to be mine. Obviously we've got people like Lindsay, we've got, you know, Jang, who started locally, really good people, but like at the end of the day I have to make the hard decisions. There goes Mario. And they are hard decisions, and I have to stand over them, and it doesn't help me. I'm not giving out, I'm not angry. It's just, it makes it very hard when I have to explain myself without being able to explain myself. There's a lot of times, like, if you imagine, like, wherever you work at the moment, or whatever business you're in, or whatever maybe you're, you know, you manage a football team, or you manage a God knows what you do, you know, whatever you do in your personal life. Imagine having to sort of explain that online. I find that very tough, I'm not going to lie, because I can't always share everything that I'm meant to share. Like, I definitely can't share most of this stuff. If you knew the stuff that I had to, like, not share, I mean, with dogs especially, cruelty cases, poisoning cases, dogs that are incredibly sick, that I don't want to, you know, show all that, because people, you know, it turns people off in one way. I don't mind sharing Big Mac because he's a very good boy, and his story is one of, you know, love and hope that we can share, and we're going to give him a lovely ending, and he's amongst people here who love him, and, you know, he's an older dog. We're just going to give him the grace and dignity, but I can't share everything. Like, I have some messages in my phone today with some people who want to poison dogs up in the mountains, 6 dogs. I've seen the messages between people, and it's like, let's go and poison them now, let's do it now, have you got the poison, that sort of stuff. I can't share that. Like, I'd get locked up if the people saw me sharing that, or, you know, I'd get attacked. Like, to call a spade, they'd come after me and, like, you know, not be very happy with me, and I'm in a different country. So I can share some things, you know. I think that's one of the things that is frustrating for people. I share everything about my life. I share my alcoholism, my depression battles, everything. So people are invested, and they feel like they really should know everything, like every single detail, and I just can't share every single detail. Like, we've gone from just me and Big Mac outside. Like, I used to sit with Big Mac outside 7-Eleven and Jumbo, and that's how I got to know him. And it was just me, and I used to share that on Instagram, and people would love that. I could be unfiltered, I'd have nobody to answer to, I'd have you know, we could just it felt like very intimate. But now that it's such a bigger organization, and that, like, even if you take something like sterilizing, I'm gonna walk Big Mac back in and show you a couple more exciting things that are happening. Even if you take something like sterilization, right? We sterilize 6,000 dogs every month now. We provide the funding for that, right? So that is, if I give you a monetary amount on that, 6,000 dogs is about $40 a dog. That's like, we're getting up over $150,000 a month to pay for sterilizing. Okay, that's a real number, $150,000 per month. Like just grasp that. When you've got that sort of money involved, and when you've got that sort of responsibility, we have 10 partners in 3 countries. All of those 10 partners, some of them have, like Soy Dog would have, I think they've got 500 staff, maybe, I could be wrong. Some of the other partners have 10 staff, 20 staff, 30 staff. Like, we work with them, and they're wonderful partners, and we partner up together, but, like, I can't now know every detail of what's happening on every sterilization. Like, 6,000 dogs. I remember when I used to know every single dog and every single dog's name, like Big Mac, but now I'm in a position where I've got to put trust in a lot of people, and I don't know every detail of what's going on, and that's just sterilizing. I'm not even talking about the 1,000 dogs we feed every single day. I'm not talking about the vet operations, the funding we give for different people for different things that are out of my control. But it's very, very hard, is what I'm saying. Like, another example is people will message me and they'll be like, oh my God, you're so big now, why are you not helping this charity in Ireland? Why are you not saving this dog in Samui? You know, there's a dog on the other side of the island. Like, yes, we're bigger and there's a lot of stuff that we can do, but I can't do everything. I can't be everywhere in every place, and I can't be answerable to every single person at every time. I really don't want to make this video and sound like I'm having a rant, because I'm not. I'm just trying to explain in plain English how hard it is for me to share everything. I don't think I could share more than I actually share. I think as a charity, as an individual, it couldn't be more open. But recently I've struggled because that's not been enough for people. People are DMing me quite angry, actually, quite demanding, quite sort of, I don't mind saying, I've had a few people who've DM'd me and said, like, this is not why I fund you, this is not why I started funding you, this is not why, this is not how I want my money spent, this is not how I want things done. And to be honest with you, in those situations, I'm like, well, you know, you're probably not the person to be supporting, because nobody in their right mind would make those requests. What I do is every single thing we do is for the dogs. I just want to show you Big Mac's lovely face. Look at his lovely face. Where else would you get a face like that? He's one of the most beautiful dogs I've ever come across. But yeah, so there's an awful lot for me to filter out and a lot of noise. But all I can do is, at the moment, we really have scaled up so big, and as it gets bigger, I've actually even thought about it. I'm like, am I the person to be in charge of it? Because, like, if I wanted an easy life, what I would do is I would hang out with Big Mac, and I would find 20 other dogs like him who need fed and looking after, and I'd use my own money and I'd look after them. And it's very fulfilling. Anybody saving 20 dogs is, you know, knows that that's definitely hard, but it's also very fulfilling and very rewarding thing to do. This video is going to end up wherever Big Mac takes me. That would be the easy life, but I've chosen the life to go and save thousands and tens of thousands of dogs, which is not a very easy thing to do. Come here, Big Mac. And it involves doing a lot of things that are things that I don't love doing. It's why I left my life of working in advertising and working in spreadsheets and working in managing teams and doing all those sort of things. They're very hard things for me to do. I don't love doing them. What I love doing is hanging out with dogs like Big Mac and spending my time with them. And at the moment I get less of that than ever, because we're trying to do a crazy hard thing. We're trying to scale up around the world, and it's not easy. But anyway, the reason I had Big Mac with me was, I'll finish the video now, is the number one thing is the dogs. That's all that matters. If I could just spend my life hanging out with Big Mac and making his last few months on this earth or weeks even, I think, if I could just spend my time making his last few weeks a wonderful time on earth, I would do that. But unfortunately I have to run off and look for permissions to build a road. I have to talk about driver's licenses on cars. I have to get work permits for people. I have to find budgets for sterilising. I have to talk to people about, you know, staff members and colleagues about working together, and find cultural fits across different languages and different countries and time zones. I have to have an architects meeting at 8 p.m. tonight. I would love nothing more. What I loved most in my life was looking after a small group of dogs who I knew very well, but it's not about that. It's about saving street dogs across the world, and that comes with challenges. And I really don't want this video to sound like I'm moaning, because I'm not. I couldn't be happier. I'm sitting beside Tina's grave. I've got Big Mac with me, who reminds me of Tina in his kindness, in a different way, but in his kindness, and how we're going to have to let him go. Not let him go, but how we're going to have to look after him and then let him go with us in complete happiness and peace. So we're going to create that environment for him. So yeah, it's not easy looking after dogs, but it's a very, very privileged place to be, and I appreciate everybody's support more than they could ever know. And hopefully this video wasn't just me rambling, but it explains a little bit about what started as something small but has now grown into something massive, which is great. So many dogs are getting helped, but it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. A subscribe as always helps, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world.